Welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things we remember fondly from our childhood and years prior to see if they still hold up, and if not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing, Snarf?
I'm absolutely fine. Stu, how are you?
Yes, I am fine, Smith. Perhaps we should carry on with this podcast.
Perhaps we should.
Yes. Yes, that's a little sneak peek at what we'll be covering today. Wow, it's going to be fun. Right. Right, just want to talk about last episode's feedback before we delve into that. So, varied as usual. This one was interesting. It was this film always made me paranoid when going into my apartment building that someone was following me. Oh yeah, so this feedback is for Urban Legend, that yeah, slasher horror film we covered. Humans Can Lick 2 was in the sequel. I vaguely remember that because the second one is a rip-off of Scream 3, isn't it? But they're still covering urban legends, and I think,
Well, it's not quite a rip-off of Scream 3. It's set in a film college.
yeah, okay.
So it's not quite a rip-off of Scream 3.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually a killing. I think they start to detail something, or they're filming it for a
Oh,
movie or
yeah,
something like
that's
that.
what it is. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Cool. And this was a great one. So this actually happened to me. And then when one of our mutual friends was watching the podcast, he said to me, "Do you remember that time when I hid in the boot of a car without the parcel shelf in the car, and then I jumped out at you when we parked up?" I was like, "Yes, yes, I do remember that." Me and a friend were driving along to the cinema, and we'd gone to Blue Water Shop instead of to watching it. And the mate who was driving the car just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, "What's so funny?" He was like, "Don't worry, no." I was like, "No, but seriously, what's so funny?" He was like, "No, nothing." And then when we finally parked up, he must have said a code word which triggered our mate who was hiding in the boot in the parcel shop. And he went, "Ah!" I jumped out. I absolutely shit my pants. So now I extra specially always check the back of the car and boots when I'm getting into a car. So there you go.
Well,
Funny.
yeah, maybe I should if I had a car. Maybe I should go around and check the back seats of other people's cars just to be on the safe side.
Even Ubers.
Yeah, just put a brick through the window. Go, no, clear. No one in here.
You're, oh,
Just walking around the car park as they're doing a public service.
yeah, every single car in the car park. Cool. Did you get any feedback on Urban Legend?
The only feedback I got was people asking where they could buy a lovely blue Parker from.
Well, I've taken mine down now. It's not on the door.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I pointed them towards Uniqlo.
Uniqlo. Yeah. My God. I can't believe I wore that parka coat for that. It was like, that was very, very, very hot. There we go. Right. Anything further you'd like to say on Urban Legend before we move on?
Uh, no.
Right, cool. So, a first for the podcast this time, we are covering our first cartoon. Now, me and Smith discussed what cartoon we should cover, and I thought let's cover a very famous one that we've not kind of done before because we kind of done He-Man with the movie, we've kind of done Turtles with the movie as well, but Thundercats, there's been no movie adaptation whatsoever yet. So we thought, why not we cover
Yes.
yet? Why not cover Thundercats?
I would
So
say that my recommendation for the Care Bears was ignored
oh, we can cover the
and
Care Bears.
dismissed.
It was not. That lies. We can cover the Care Bears at some point. Now, this Thundercats is interesting. So this ran for 4 seasons, between 1985 and 1989. There was 130 episodes. Interestingly enough, we didn't get it here in the UK until 1987. So yeah, I can't give you a brief synopsis of what this is about because it's so detailed. I've actually had to run down the main plot. So just bear with me. I'm going to do this. Right. So this is the adventures of the cat-like humanoid aliens on a planet called Third Earth. So the pilot episodes begins with the dying planet of Thundera meeting its end. It forces the Thundercats to flee their home world. Their fleet is attacked by the Thunderians' enemies, the mutants of Plundar. Just bear with us while we're saying all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Who destroy their starships in the Thunder Fleet, but they spare one flagship, hoping to capture the legendary Mystic Sword of Omens, not the Power of Grayskull soul, and they believe it's on board. So the sword holds the Eye of Thundera, and that's the source of all the Thundercats' power, and it's embedded in the hilt. So even though the mutants damage the flagship, the power of the eye drives them back. The damage to the ship means their journey to the original destination is not possible, so instead they have to go to Third Earth, and that's going to take much longer than anticipated. So the eldest of the Thundercats, Yaga, he volunteers to pilot the ship while the others sleep in capsules. However, he dies of old age in the process, but not ensuring they reach their destination safely. And the flagship contains Lion-O, who's the leader, Chitara, Panthro, Tigra, wily-kit, wily-kat, and Snarf. Snarf. But when the Thundercats awaken from the suspended animation, it's been 10 Galacto years. Lion-O,
Galacto, yes. That's
jargon,
fucking lazy. That's
fucking
there's like you can see where they start like Thundera, Plunder. Okay, the Sword of Omens, the Eye of
Thundera.
Thundera, Yaga, Lion-O, Third Galacto years. I'm giving up.
There's in one of the episodes, there's Panthro and Tigra are talking for a load of jargon, which we'll get to. But yeah, anyway, when they've landed on this planet, Lion-O realizes that his suspension capsule hadn't worked properly, and he has now become an adult, but he's still got a teenage mind. I'm like, okay, that's something I never
Doesn't
realized.
he? Doesn't he fucking just?
Does but
Petulant shitbox that he is.
but you know what? This is useful actually because I couldn't remember what the plot was of Thundercats. I just thought it was a bunch of cats on a planet saving it. I didn't realize there was all this fleeing their planet like Superman and all this sort of shit.
Arguably, doesn't really matter what the plot is because it is
No, it
just a
doesn't.
bunch of cats on a planet with a
Yeah,
mummy that lives on the mummies. I realized that mumm-ra's not from Plunder.
no, he's not. He's
Mumm-ra's
his own
from
being.
Third Earth. Why also is it Third Earth? Did they look at Second Earth and go, nah, it's a bit shit?
I think it gets explained in either the reboot or subsequent things. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry. So the Thundercats construct the Cat's Lair, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. That's their new home and headquarters. And then
excellent.
the mutants of Plundar have tracked them down to Third Earth, and the intrusion of these two alien races on this world doesn't go unnoticed because the demonic mummified sorcerer calling himself mumm-ra wants to get rid of the Thundercats, and he recruits the mutants to help him, and he wants the Eye of Thundera for some reason to destroy the Thundercats. Whew. That's all in the pilot episode. Jesus.
The pilot episode is 3 hours long.
Yeah. There we go. So that's not a brief synopsis. That is the synopsis of the Thundercats. They're essentially living on Third Earth, protecting the planet, fighting off the mutants of Plundar and Mumm-Ra. That's it. So anyway, this came out as mentioned in 1985. Now we have done 1985 as part of Santa Claus the movie, which was very Christmassy based. So, and this is a cartoon, something a bit different. So Smith, what are we doing for our scene setting part?
Well, we've already done 1985 scene setting, as you said, even if it was Christmas focused. So we are going to be doing a little quiz for you.
Yay!
So I have scoured the internet for this Thundercat quiz, but rather than questions about Thundercats, it's going to be Thundercat or Thundernat, which
Oh, okay,
is this a character from Thundercats or is it Nat?
okay.
Um,
Snarf.
so there are tons of characters in Thundercats, absolutely tons. And in the first series, which by the way is 65 episodes long,
Madness.
unbelievably, there was only 6 voice actors. So there were 6 actors who did the whole lot of them. So what I have here is a series of characters, and I'm just going to ask you, is this a Thundercat or is this a Thundernat?
Okay, let's
Got
go.
it?
Yep,
All right. Number one, Civity.
that's a Thunder Gnat.
That's a Thundernat, correct. A civet cat is a type of cat, but it's not a Thundercat. Bengali.
I'm going to say that's a Thundercat.
It is indeed introduced in season 2.
Mhm.
Linkso, the most pleasant smelling Thundercat. Linkso, Africa.
I'm going to say that's a Thunder Gnat.
It is a Thundercat. It's introduced in
Oh,
season 2
damn it.
alongside Bengali.
Okay.
Jagara.
Thundercat.
Yes.
Cool.
Bobcat.
No, that's a Gnat.
That's a nut. uh, Rum Tum Tugger.
No, come on, that's a Thunder Gnat.
That's from the show Cats.
All right.
Hello, I'm Rum Tum Tugger. Pumaira.
That sounds like that's true. I'm going to say Thundercat.
Yes, introduced in season 2.
Hmm.
Claudius.
No, that's too normal. Thunder Gnat.
No, Lionel's father is called Claudius. And he looked at his son and went, I shall call him Lionel.
Yeah. Okay.
Condor Man.
Gnat.
Nat, correct. But there is a Vulture Man.
Okay.
Uh, Monkeyan.
Monkeyin's one of the mutants. That's true.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He's head of the
Yeah.
8 Men.
Yeah.
Tugmug. Tugmug.
Gnat. Gnat.
Yes, Tugmug is one of the villains.
Oh.
Rambam.
Nah. Ram. That sounds like Ram Man from He-Man. So no.
Rambam. Yes, it's a Thundercat villain.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So you've had Rambam. How about Thank You, Ma'am?
No. Thunder Gnat.
No, it's not. Toad Man.
No. Toadman is Slythe.
Yes, but there is a Frog Man. There is a Frog Man.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Captain Kremen.
I'm going to say Thundercat. That sounds so absurd. It probably is one.
No, it's a cartoon character created by Kenny Everett in the 1980s.
All right, that's funny.
And finally, Safari Joe.
No, Thundercat.
Yes, it is
Safari
Safari Joe.
Joe is
Yes,
character.
Safari Joe is. I haven't kept track of the scores at all, but I think
I
you know.
have, I got
Yep.
eight. I don't know how many you asked me. I
Hold on.
think you asked me about 12, didn't you?
I asked you 16, 50% hit rate.
Oh, okay. And considering, and we'll get into this, Thundercats was not one of my favorite cartoons, and I didn't
Was
even
it
know
not?
them. No, and I didn't even know the main plot, which is why when I read all this research, this was all fucking news to me. So
Why did you
considering,
pick it then?
because I'll explain why. I have got
Mm-hmm.
memories of watching it and the toys and stuff like that, and it is something so embedded, especially the intro, embedded into my
Mm.
nostalgia, my memory. Like I'm like, yeah, we have to pick this. But we actually went back and watched it. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know any of this crap. So there you go. So actually, that leads quite nicely to this. So we didn't get it till 1987, and I doubt very much we were old enough to watch it first time around. So it's probably a rerun. But
I'd have been two.
you would have been two. I would have been three. How did how old were you, do you think, when you first watched it, and how did you go about seeing it? Or where did you read about it? It might have been like a toy advertisement or something like that. So,
So I would have been about 5 or 6, I think,
mhm,
when I first became aware of Thundercats as something that I could watch. And I have two very specific memories about when I first watched it. One was as part of a Saturday morning cartoon block,
mhm,
which included other cartoons, including the cartoon of Police Academy, which maybe one day we'll come back to.
maybe.
I also had a VHS of it. I had two VHS of it. One which had the Thundercat logo in red, and one which had the Thundercat logo in blue. And the first of the two episodes that we watched today, the second I started watching it, I was like, I have seen this episode, and I have seen this episode hundreds of times. And there were moments in
Wow.
it that are so ingrained in my memory. Like, I unlocked these ingrained memories that I hadn't thought about in years. There are
That's
little tiny bits
mental.
like the monkey and shield shooting the balls. I was like,
Yep.
fuck me, that's right in there. Or the beast men, or no, what are they called? The
Oh, the
beast
Brute
men?
Men.
Brute men. Like the bits of the brute men. I was like, that is in there. Like that is well in, or wily-kit and wily-kat jumping around the trees. It
Yep.
is embedded in my brain.
Wow. Well, there you go.
How about
N-
you?
Now, see, this is an interesting one. I
Now.
had a video of it, and the reason why I've chose one of the episodes, The Slaves of Castle Plunder, is because I had a
Mm,
video, and this video only had that episode on it. It's like, what a waste of
really?
a video. It's a 22-minute video, which makes me think this must have come free with like a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Wimpy or something like that. It's like there is no way they sold just a 22-minute one episode video of Thundercats. But I
What was on the front of it?
just the Thundercat standing there. Like I've got on eBay today. You can still buy that video off people. But I remember lending you this video when we were at school because the one particular bit that really cracked me up later in that episode, I remember you saying all those years ago, "Oh my God, this is one bit where this thing happens and it's so goddamn funny, right?" But yeah, the video, it's not even the symbol. It's just them all just standing there at the front. But yeah,
Really?
it just seems so bizarre that a
Huh.
160 episode cartoon they released one
Yeah.
episode on one video. But anyway, so I had that. Yeah, and same as you, Saturday morning cartoons or something like that. And I had the toys. I had the Thunder Tank.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh
so
yeah. I
one
didn't have.
one Christmas, I don't know why, my mum and dad thought, oh, we'll get you and your brother these Thundercat toys, even though we were massive He-Man fans. So I had the Thunder Tank. I had Lion-O. You put the little battery keyring in his back and his eyes lit up. And I had
Yeah.
mumm-ra as well. And there was a little device that made their arms go back and forth with their sword or
I had
whatever.
the mumm-ra with the little battery pack that made his eyes glow
Yeah,
up. Yeah, I had a mumm-ra. I had Panthro and Tigra. I definitely had a Slithe and a Monkeyan.
yeah. Well, you had quite
And
a lot of the
you,
toys then.
I got a lot of toys in general, Stu. I was fairly
You did.
spoiled. Um, yeah, I
But yeah,
suppose I didn't hang on to the VHS. So I definitely used to have them.
I've definitely got it. It's up
The
in my
one with
loft.
the one with the logos on the front, and I don't know what I did with them because by the time we were friends, I probably would have got shot at them.
Nah, I wouldn't. I've still got my old He-Man videos. I've got my Thundercats video. I've got my Turtles
Wow.
videos. They're
I've
all
got
up in the loft.
I've got a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and a Denver the Last Dinosaur one somewhere.
But I remember the
But I
Dead
don't
Last
think.
Dinosaur. You bought that from a charity shop years later.
Yeah, I think I bought them all years later because a lot of my
Yeah, yeah,
videos have been got my parents got shot off.
yeah. But no, those are my memories. I mean, it was everywhere, wasn't it? It very much competed with He-Man. You know, it was
Yeah,
around
it's
about
one
that
of the
same sort
most
of time.
defining cartoons of our childhood
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah, but oddly enough, not one I watched over and over and again or was really familiar with. Like if someone said to me, "Oh, tell me the lore of He-Man," or "Tell me the lore of Turtles," I could tell you it like that. But if someone said, "Tell me the lore of Thundercats," I don't know. Well, now I know because I've researched it, but I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you up until about a week ago what the lore was about it. So there you
Hmm.
go. Cool. Right. So for today's episode, we're going to cover two episodes, just like of Thundercats, like we've done for A-Team and 40 Tales. We're going to do Slaves of Castle Plunder, because that's the one I had the video of. So that's the
Yep,
memories. And
that's the
also,
one that I remember very clearly.
exactly,
And I'm wondering now whether or not I remember it clearly because you lent me that video when we were a bit older as well.
could
So
be.
it would have, because I'd watched it when a lot when I was a kid, and then maybe it had kind of
Yeah,
re-ingrained.
yeah, maybe. And the other one is mumm-ra. And both
Mumm-ra!
mumm-ra, and both of these are from season one. So I think it's episodes 4 and 5 of season one. So right, I suppose we'll get straight into it. Right. So episode 4, Slaves of Castle Plunder. So we get at the start, wily-kit and wily-kat are playing in the woods, and it's dreadful voice acting already. Catch me if you can, wily-kit. No, wily-kat. Ha ha ha. I was like, this is so shit. So immediately this is awful. Oh no, what am I doing? Before that, the absolutely epic intro.
Yeah,
Like that
don't
intro
don't
is badass. Like
don't skip over the intro. That is one of the defining TV theme tunes of all time.
it's
It just from
so
the
goddamn
beginning,
good.
the video, like the title credits, everything. It's just great. Like just from the opening, like, like,
Yeah,
oh yes, please.
Thundercats. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, when all the like the beams are coming across the planets and shit, it's brilliant. Yeah, thunder, 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 Thundercats. Oh, yeah, excellent stuff. And it introduces all the characters nicely in the credits as well. You see Tigray, you see Panthro, you see Chitara running, you see wily-kit, wily-kat throwing the bombs down, you see
And you
mumm-ra
get the
going all
bit,
crazy. Yeah,
you get the bit with like the drum roll with the, and they're all kind of looking up at us. It's so well done.
it's brilliant. And then
It's all
Yarg the
downhill from
Ghost,
there.
all yeah, it's all down. Yarg the Ghost like Obi-Wan comes over them and shit. Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. Loved it.
I've written down here for the opening. Why does wily-kit talk like that? She talks so strangely, and then I realized that it's everybody. Like apart from one, there's one person who seems to be putting more of an effort in than everybody else.
Yeah,
And that's
I think I know who that
That's
is.
Panthro.
Panthro, yeah.
Everybody else, he's the one who can act. Everybody else is so weirdly staccato. It's so odd, especially with like their life, like ha 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 ha, and like, why does wily-kat sound like a 35-year-old man?
Yeah, he's meant to be a teenager.
Yeah, catch up if you can.
But yeah, it's not very good. But yeah, so that's what we get. We're made to believe these two teenagers, inverted comma, are playing in the woods. And yeah, they see brute men carrying rocks to Castle Plunder, and that's being enslaved by the mutants. So yeah, you're quite right. The mutants are from Plunder. They've also come to the Third Earth, and they're constructing a castle, presumably as a base. Because I don't think Mumm-ra lives. I think Mumm-ra lives somewhere else, or maybe he
Yeah,
lives in there with them or something. I don't know.
Mumm-ra lives down the road.
I think
He'll
Castle Mumm-ra.
occasionally pop in for a cup of sugar.
Yeah, that's it. And then as they do, they're following these slaves to Castle Plunder, and yeah, before they're about to leave, they spot Monkian, who's one of the mutants sleeping below them, and of course they accidentally wake him up. I said, "Oh, of course you have kids."
It's I've written down some lines of dialogue here. I stopped doing this after a while because I realized I'd be writing down every line of
Yes,
dialogue.
exactly.
But it's like it's so weirdly functional. Like, yes, and we've got to find out what these devils are up to. There's like, and then they say something, and she goes, "Well, look who's telling whom." I'm like, it's correct use of whom, but feels grammatically strange.
I don't
And then when
like
they
it.
wake up Monkey, and she goes, "Yike, not yikes, no, no, yike, he sees us."
Yeah,
It's just like,
it's almost like when they translate Pokemon into English from Japanese and
right?
it doesn't quite work. That's
No.
what it's like.
And then he's chasing them, and they're like, "He's gaining us. Like, if you didn't keep looking back, you wouldn't know that." It's like, what?
What does
What
this
is
make sense?
happening? What? Yeah.
Yeah. It's all mad. This is beginning bit, and presumably Monkey's gonna kill him, and then wily-kit throws some sticky capsule at him, and then wily-kat pushes him out of the tree. I was like, all right,
Monkey and sure know how to fall, don't they? Do they?
class dialogue there. Great script rate.
Your insults are brilliant. It's like
Yeah,
there's some of this later on. There's some insults which are just whoa, next level.
yeah, yeah. And then back at the cat's lair, which looked very impressive, I might add. Tiger and Chitara discussing the new vision scope that's been installed. The vision scope, and this has been built by the Roe Bear
The
Burbills,
robot, that's a fucking mouthful. The robot burbills.
and then they're robot teddy
They're as
bears.
smart as they are gentle.
What?
What the fuck are they?
Because in the first couple of episodes, it's about them escaping the planet, and then the next couple of episodes is them constructing the cat lair. But I think the episode before, the one we've watched, they meet the Roe Bear Bill Billers or whatever they are. They're helping them
Robot
build the
burbills.
cat's lair, and he's like, "Thank God we had their help, otherwise we'd still be designing the foundation." This bit was brilliant. Wily-kit and wily-kat turned up, and Tigra says, they appear agitated.
Yes, we'd better go and see what's wrong.
I was cracking up laughing all throughout this, and it's only been like 2 minutes of the go. And then wily-kit and wily-kat are explaining to Panthro. He's like, no, hold on, I'm sure Tigra and Chitara want to hear this as well.
Let's go over here now. There's, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And then Lion-O turns up, they explain what's happening. He goes, oh, we should all go off in the Thunder Tank to investigate. Like, why not? And then wily-kit and wily-kat have to stay back to guard the lair and put down. What the fuck are they going to do? What are they going to do? All the mutants turn up. What are wily-kit and
well, just
wily-kat
gonna
going to
hang
do?
out with the Robo-Bills.
Oh,
There
that
are
was it. The Robo-Bills start demonstrating what the brute men are. They're like, oh yes, they're like that. They're just doing mime.
It's like, ah, yes, the Robo-Bills know what the brute men are. Jesus Christ.
Hilarious. Then what's going on? Oh yeah, then Slive and Jackalman are telling off Monkey for losing the Thunder Kittens, but now the Thundercats are on the way. They can all ambush them. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this is another line of dialogue which I fucking love. This slide goes, yes, the kittens will bring the cats. The Thundercats. It's like, yes, there are no other cats. What are you talking about? You don't need to make that explicit. The Thundercats. Yes. It's like, okay.
I
All
like
right.
Slive though. Out of those mutants, Slive's my favourite. But yeah. Oh yeah, and also we'll get to it when they get to. Oh wait, till we get to the battle later on. Yeah, so the brute men start making a barricade. The Thunder Tank chugs along ever so slowly, like
I'm thinking about 5 miles an hour. I'll tell you what, I could drive to the music that's playing while that Thunder
it's
Tank is
so
going. Then
funky.
it's banging. It's like the fucking Sweeney. Turn it up.
Who scored this cartoon apart from the epic intro? Who the fuck scored this cartoon? It's so
Isaac,
bad.
Isaac Hayes.
And then they just destroy the barricade with ease with the missile thing
Yeah,
they've got and the claws and the mouse like, oh no. It just like breaks the barricade down.
Slide's like, yes, the brute men can build a barrier. They can build a barrier quickly, but not of high quality. It gets through it in seconds.
And also, why do they want them to build a barricade if they want the Thundercats to come there anyway? What difference
Slow
does it
down.
make? Slow down, yeah. And then Lion-O sees Castle Plunder, and then he enters while
He
the other
makes
cats
a
stay outside
really
the
weird
guard.
sound when he sees the castle. He goes, oh.
It zooms right in on his face.
He goes, oh.
Oh, and then Lion-O goes inside and there's all these arms out the chambers going, "Rrr, rrr." It's like, oh, the brute men are in the chambers.
The brute men are troubling.
Yeah, what are they supposed to be?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's leave it at that.
I
Then suddenly out of nowhere, Jackalman starts fighting Chitara, but she
love how
defeats
they
him with
call him.
ease.
Oh, the music here is really shit. It's like, I really love how they call him Jackalman. It's like, hello, I'm Dr. Alan Jackalman. Jackalman.
Jackalman, not Phil Spiderman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then she defeats him because she's really fast. They can run around. She's got a stick, but Jackalman just runs into a rock and falls down. I was like, "Ugh, okay, whatever."
Okay, now.
And then Monkey has a fight with Tigra in the field, but he's also really easily defeated with a whip. I was like,
He just fires balls at him while he just whips them out of the sky. It's like, maybe try a different tactic.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, because he's the one with the shield with the balls that
Yeah,
fires out. Yeah, and he
fires
pulls his
balls,
shield
yeah.
back off him.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. And then Slife has a fight with Panthro, and he defeats him with nunchucks to some 1970s porn music. Like, down, 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 down.
This is where the insults are just like are really like they're just saying what they are. It's like you scaly reptile. It's like, yep. It's like, you panther. It's like, yep. That's
Yep,
what
that's
they are.
accurate.
That's not
Yep,
really an insult, is it? It's you, you
yeah.
panther. I love it's a great showdown. So two of them like, oh, and there's like two punches and they fuck off. It's just like,
Yeah,
that's it. That was over.
yeah, because he breaks his spear or whatever, and then he's got no weapons, and Slime's like, ah, you would fight me with no weapons. And Panther goes, I like this better. And then we start getting some Star Trek music, and this Slime just runs off.
Oh,
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, because he runs into the castle like a pussy, and then he discovers that he goes, ah, the dungeon door is open. And then he throws warp gas at the brute men. Warp gas. And that makes them go crazy, except it doesn't really make them go crazy, it just makes them be like, "Brr, brr."
And the
And then
slightly crowd Lino. Lino, by the way, who just looks like he's forgotten to fake tan the bottom of his arms.
and his mouth.
Yeah, such a weird look.
Oh yeah, just before they do that, Lionel says, "No, not that way. The way out is over there."
And that's before they've been warp gas. They're just really thick. They're just like, hello,
When they walk
I'm
gas
the
makes
brute
them.
man.
It just makes them.
I want to hug you, my friend.
Yeah, they want to hug you when they're normal, but the warp gas makes them get a slightly bit agitated and just slightly put you to the ground.
You belong on the floor now.
And Lionel looks like he's been killed. They've not even
Yeah.
done anything to you.
30 brute men crowd him and he's down. He's down. Also, the warp gas has no effect on Lino.
Yeah, he's like, that smells funny. What did you do anything?
I thought I'd shit my pants.
And then Panthro follows Slime to the castle, but here come the crazy blue men, and they also gently accost Panthro.
A light buffering. Hey,
Oh dear.
I
And then
love as
like,
well the next two Lino with the Sword of Omens, where he's like, "Give me sight beyond sight." It's like they're just through that door. They're literally just through that door. Just open the door.
oh yeah, and he sees that Panthro's being attacked. He was like, yeah, why do you need to know this?
And then, oh, then he's got a brilliant line reading with this, and the pause is exactly where I leave it. Will the eye of Thundera penetrate stone? We'll soon know. It's like, yes, we'll soon know.
Well,
Okay.
so no, because it penetrates everything, and then just get the
But
thunder,
will it
thunder,
penetrate
Thundercats.
stone?
And then it does, but then it alerts Chitara and Tigra, but then later on it uses the sword again. But why? You've already got their attention. Um, yeah, then Panthro is suddenly outside with the brute men, even though they all knocked him to the floor already. And then Lino regroups with Tigra and Chitara. This is my favourite bit. Um, oh no, no, that's not it. No, no,
Which is
that's
where they're
coming up.
running is those, what are we going to do? I don't know, but we have to do something. It's like, yep,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
because Chitara says, "Oh, the brute men are innocent, and we can't fight them because it goes against their Thundercat code or some shit." I was like, "Wait,
Fucking cad.
how do you know they're innocent? They've been warp gassed."
Yeah.
And then the warp gas wears off and it's all okay again. But that's all right because Slive just throws another one. Instantly makes him go
Yeah.
crazy
Wears
again.
off at just the right time. And he's like, no, I got some more.
Yeah. Oh no, this is the bit that I love. So
Warp gas? I thought the Intergalactic Council outlawed warp gas.
and then Tiger hilariously looks straight to the camera and says, "Rules are only meaningful if people agree to follow them. Otherwise, they are just words." And he looks right at the camera as if he's addressing the kids watching the cartoon. I've recorded it on my phone and I've watched it back about 100 times because it's
Yeah, well,
so
you sent
funny.
it to me as well.
I could not stop laughing. I remember years ago when I lent you that video, you said the next day, "Oh my God, there's a hilarious bit when Tiger looks at the camera and says this." I mean, come on, there's a little PSA statement and there's this shit. It's unbelievable. And then Lino uses his sword to create a force field or something, and that directs the brute men towards the mutants. And I've written down, Panthro finds this very funny. He says, "God, stop laughing. They're about to get killed." And then the
They
mutants.
don't do anything. The Thundercats just stand around. They stand around and watch stuff happen. Like, oh, the brute men are doing that. All right, the brute men are doing that. All right.
Yeah, because even when they fight
Oh,
the
off we go.
mutants, they just take their weapons off them and don't really do anything. They
Yeah.
just don't beating the shit out of anyone. In He-Man, He-Man's beating the shit out of people all the time. And then the brute men head towards the Thundercats who can't fight them again due to their code or something. But thankfully, that gas wears off and they become their usual docile selves. Oh, fuck me. And then Tigra frees them and sends them back to their simple, peaceful lives, and they are free. And they start going, free, free. And then back at the cat's lair, they
They
discuss
sure
what being.
understand the word free, don't they? Everybody does.
Yeah, because that's when we get the moral at the end. Because back at the cat's lair, they discuss what being free means. And Lion-O goes, "They didn't even thank me." He's like, "Is that what you wanted, Lion-O? A thanks?" "No, I did it because it was the right thing to do." And then Snarf has to have the final word. And I've written down, "Shut up, Snarf."
Pride can be a good thing, but pride carried too far is foolish. Thank you for the life lessons there. At this point, I was watching it with Hannah, and she said, "Is his name Lionel?" I was like, "It's Lion-O." And then for the rest of it, I'm like, actually, I can just hear Lionel.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She also turned to me and went, "This is awful." I was like, okay.
Fuck, it's not very good, is it? and then we get credits,
No, it is downhill from the opening credits.
and the credits are so good. And then the end credits are pretty good because we get credits to some crazy guitar and it pans all over the third Earth. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. My God. So that was Slaves of Castle Plunder. So Snarf only pops up at the end, and mumm-ra is not in this episode at all. It's just the mutants. So there you go. Right. Okay. So shall we delve into our next episode, which is mumm-ra?
Boomra!
Mumm-ra.
Boom, boomra!
I mean, come on. Oh,
Boomraya, my lord! Boomraya!
mumm-ra. I mean, we'll get into it when it happens, but I'm like, come on, you could have come up with a better name than mumm-ra, but all right, fine. Right. So we're at the cat's lair, and Panthro and Tiger are checking the telescopic sight. They're using science strong and holding 150 negative. The fuck does that mean? Oh God. Yeah, because the
Jargon,
telescopic sight,
jargon, jargon.
it's the cat's head, isn't it? And it keeps moving from left to right. And then we see later on in this episode, it has like the beams that come out of the eyes, which see what's going on the planet. But yeah, the cat's lair is almost done. And then when they're looking around, they spot that Chitaro's going for a morning jog in Sector 9.
And then they obviously perv on her with the camera.
And then I've written down a bit that makes no sense to me whatsoever. They see smoke coming out of a volcano. It's like, this looks unusual. What, smoke coming out of a volcano? That sounds pretty legit to me.
Let's go and have a look at it.
Yeah, he said, well,
Don't
let's go
go and
out
have a look at it.
and
It's
go
going to
out.
erupt. Don't want anywhere near the bloody thing.
Oh, don't worry, they got the thunder tank, so that's fine.
They can run away from it at 5 miles an hour.
The lava's gaining on us. And
Mm.
then this bit makes no sense. When Chitara's on her morning jog, somehow she's subdued and collapses, and it was the work of those pesky mutants. And I'm like, hang on a minute, why don't they just kill her? First of all, how did you subdue her? Did they throw like warp gas or some shit at her? And second
If
of
they
all,
can, yeah, if they can do that, if they can subdue the Thundercats that easily, why don't they subdue the Thundercats and then throw them in that volcano?
yeah, or just go and slit their throat or something.
It's
Yeah,
pretty dark for a Saturday morning
but,
cartoon. Like, oh boy.
but why
I
go
mean, I
through this big elaborate plan, what mumm-ra wants to carry out, when they've just literally subdued Chitara? I could just kill her right there.
because Mumm-ra wants the Sword of Omens.
Well, yeah, but then we'll see later on in this episode that's pointless anyway. But yes, yes, yes. Quite right. He does want the Sword of Omens. Yeah, and if for some reason they go out and check the volcano out the thunder tank. They go, yeah, that's a tank, all right.
Mm.
And
Sweeney, Sweeney.
they just literally drive up to it. That sure is a volcano. And they just go back.
Like, oh, Chitara, we should wait for Chitara. We'll give her another 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because wily-kat want to go out for a ride in the slow-moving tank. It's like,
Yeah.
no, Chitara's never late. Something must be wrong. What happens? And then, yeah, then we get to mumm-ra's castle. And the mutants are like, I don't trust mumm-ra, but this is a good plan, isn't it? Yes, it's a very good plan. It really isn't. It's
It's not a
stupid.
great plan. It's not a great plan.
Yeah. So mumm-ra's talking to himself aloud. Now, mumm-ra looks cool. So he's an ancient mummy who's been about for like 1,000 years, but through evil, he can never die or be defeated. And wherever there's evil, he will exist, but he can turn himself into mumm-ra, the all-being. I was like, that's pretty cool. I quite like that. But he's very much like Skeletor.
Yes, very much like Skeletor.
Yeah. Yeah. Thundercats. Anyway, so he's talking to himself aloud about his evil plan. Like, who the fuck are you talking to? It's not even like
There's
the
a lot of
mutants
that.
are here.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in this episode. I've written that down 3 times. This is who the fuck are you talking to?
Nobody in particular. And of all the people he could transform himself into, he transforms himself into his evil self, the ever living, and then he turns himself into mumm-ra. And it's just
I,
like he,
Mumm-ra, will become Mumm-ra the ever living, will become Pum-ra. And when I need a poo, I'm Bum-ra.
oh my God,
And
you
when I
say
have a
that.
wank, I'm Cum-ra.
Do you remember? Sorry, I'm going off topic a bit. Do you remember years ago there was that TV show called Round the Bend where there was that the crocodile
Yes.
down in the
Yeah,
sewer?
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they
yeah.
used to parody cartoons, right? And I can't remember what they called the Thundercats, but they parodied mumm-ra. They called him Bum-ra. And then
Did he
they
have like a
parodied
bum for a face? It's like,
like what like in South Park. No,
yeah.
and they parodied He-Man and he was called Wee Man. Oh, for God's sake. So
Oh, did he always
childish.
need a wee? Like, there was nothing with Wee Man, but he was like,
Yeah, and on the front of his chest it had toilet roll and stuff like that. It's so stupid. So, I mean, Mumm-ra looks absolutely ridiculous. And for some reason, he's got an eye patch on. It's like, why has he got an eye patch? Already, if it's not going to be a bit suspect, I was like, I'm going to put this devilish eye patch over. Why?
Mumm-ra looks like Eye Patch Jesus.
Yeah, he's wearing robes, and he.
He's wearing robes, he's got long flowing hair, and when he does maths, he's Sumra.
Uh, so this isn't going to stop, is it?
No, when he gets it wrong, he's Dumra.
Oh, look at you being all pun raw.
Ah!
Amazing. And why has he given his name exactly like Mumra? Sorry, you Mumra? No, I'm Bumra. Why did he just call himself Catman or something like that? It would have been a lot easier.
I've
You,
joined the Catholic religion and now I'm Nunra.
oh dear, it's
I'll
terrible.
stop.
You pleat for now. And
You're
it
no fun, Ra.
should just have a whole podcast. These just puns of Mumra.
And when I have my dinner, it's Yumra.
All
Oh,
right,
I'll
enough,
stop. I'll stop.
enough, enough. Right, Chitara wakes up and Bumra explains that he rescued her from, I think it was Skive or Schlive. Slive, yes, Slive. That was it, and the goons. And then Bumra starts lying out of his arse saying he's also from Fundera. And then Chitara was like, oh, you should just come back to the Cats lair
Oh
and meet
no,
the
no!
Thundercats.
It's where he says I'm from a different planet. He goes Thundera. She like shouts at the screen Thundera, and it's
Yeah.
like what the fuck? This is the point Hannah turns to me. She meant to be drugged, or is it just her acting? Like, the second one, she went, oh,
Oh, she's not the worst thing in this though. But yeah, yeah,
no, Tiger's pretty bad.
yeah. But yeah, he's like, well, I thought the starships were destroyed. Yes, well, the gravity pulled mine towards it, and I ended up on this planet. Yes.
They'll do.
And she's like, "Oh, you should come back to the Thundercats." He goes, "Yes, I would like that. I would like that very much."
And then she just kind of joins in. We're laughing. We're
Why are we
friends.
laughing? He's so obviously fucking evil. He's evil Jesus with an eye patch. Oh my God. Right. So what was it? What was it? What was it? Yeah. So back at the cat's lair, and Lino is happy Pumro's here, and he wants him to obey the laws of Thundera and their Thundercats code of truth, justice, and the American way. I mean, if it's not, it sounded very much like
It was like truth, honor, justice, doing
the
the washing
American
up.
way.
It's yeah, Lino's probably like, I want him to join now. Why can't he join now? I don't see any problem. It's like, and then Jagger turns up.
He was like, Lino, you should always consider your decisions. Yes. I was like, can everyone else see Yaga, or is it only
No, they
Lino?
can't. They can't. This is where I've written down for the second time.
Ah.
Who the fuck are you talking to? Because he's like, you're right, Yago. And it's like, what the fuck is he talking to Yago? And no one's going to bring this up that he's acting very peculiarly.
It keeps changing his mind all of a sudden for no reason. Yeah, and then Pumro says, yes, I'm happy to join them as friends are important.
Yeah. They go, we'll meet in the secret chamber in an hour. Why? You're all there now. You're there now, and he's not in the room. Just have you? What secret chamber? What are you doing?
Well, I was going to go have me dinner, maybe make a few calls. So
I need, I need to take a poo,
a really, really big poo.
and the sandbox needs changing.
Yeah, exactly. Then as he leaves, Snarf goes, I don't trust that guy. He's like, Snarf, how could you say such a thing so quite easily?
Oh, Lionel, look at him. He don't smell right.
Snarf is right to question this strange man who is apparently from Thundera, but they've never seen before.
Shut up, Snarf. No,
What?
Snarf, stop. I said shut up.
And then Bumra's in his room and he's walkie-talkie, talking aside. And he's being all evil. He's like, yes, you must invade tomorrow.
And this is when they're all asleep. And he goes, well, the Thundercat purrs. Mumm-ra pursues. Who
Yeah,
the fuck are you talking to?
I've written that down as well. Very, very bad, shitty dialogue.
That someone wrote that. I mean, yeah, that's great. That's not. That's
Yeah,
barely even a thing.
absolutely. Oh yeah, we've jumped forward a bit. Yeah, so at the Secret
Sorry.
Castle, they've said that the Secret Castle, the Secret Council, they've all agreed to give him 1 week's trial because yeah, he said, I think we should join now. Yaga said, no, Lionel, consider your decisions. So they said, yes, 1 week trial. They'll put their hands together like, go team.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed. But yes, that's when he says, well, the cat's
Oh
purr.
yeah.
Pumla will
Mumm-ra.
pursue. And he goes off in search of the sword of omens, but along the way he starts fucking shit up like a computer rod, pull some wires out of that, pull some shit out of the tank.
All these guns on the floor. They'll have to pick them up, and their backs might be sore from the extra effort.
So evil. And then
I'm going to put the wrong label on the milk.
and sorted
This
the
is
sugar jar.
oat milk.
He might as well. He doesn't really do anything evil at all.
I put some cling film over the toilet.
And then he goes off in search of the Sword of Omens. And then he starts going on about some mystical Egyptian tomb shit. And then he manages to
This
open up a door because I've been here for 1,000 years. What's the fucking got to do with
no lie,
anything?
no lie. They've used an old Egyptian tomb device. Like, look, if you lived on a planet and your main villain was a mummy from Egyptian times, you probably wouldn't use an old Egyptian tomb device, would you?
Oh, I
You'd
might
use
just use the
something a bit more
deadlock.
modern. Yeah, because he might be able to get in. Just use a Yale lock. Oh, damn, a Yale key. I don't have one of those, and they're notoriously hard to pick.
Until next time,
Oh,
Thundercats.
yes, is.
Yeah, because I think we get it a bit further on. I don't think they've met Mumm-ra yet, or if they
No, so
Mumm-ra's
this is what I was wondering if they'd actually
yeah
met him yet. I don't think they have because he sort of
no
introduces himself to them.
yeah he's in the episode before, but I think as at a distance he's getting the
He's not.
mutants
He's
to
not
go off.
in. He's not in.
No, not
Uh,
Plunder, the one before Plunder, the one with the
oh,
Rainbow Bear,
okay. Yeah, the Robo Bills.
the Bear Grylls ones.
The,
Yeah, yeah.
the Robo Bear Grills. The Robo Bear Grills are drinking their own urine. It's how they survive in the desert.
Even though they're robots. And, and then yeah, he, he said the sword's not here. I'm lying. I must sleep with it. Then we get a cut just lying in bed for some
Lionel
reason.
sleeping with that sword, or is he just pleased to see you?
And then he manages to get in and he goes, it's much smaller than last time I saw it. Well, that's what she said. You walked right to that one, Thundercats. Oh dear.
Oh,
And the next day, the council, Pumra agrees to obey their code of honor. And then, for some reason, Tiger goes, come, Panthro, we must do good work in the fields. It's like, doing what? Picking corn? Like,
can we use the tank? No, we're going on foot.
yeah, that's it. Oh, but you promised. Shut up. And then outside, Lionel's tossing
Promises
ring.
only mean something if people believe in them.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they're just words.
you might as well have said that. And if for some reason outside Lionel's tossing rings at Staff's tail but due to boredom, I'm like, what? It's like,
Yeah,
I've got better
arsehole.
things to do, yeah. And then Lionel and Staff have a look through the cat's eyes telescope, see that it's been fucked. And they see that the sword has been sort of like, oh no, the sword. It's like, well, perhaps you should guard it and not put it in a room like
Also,
that by itself.
if you sleep with it, surely you'd notice it was gone.
He doesn't sleep with it. That's Mum-ra thinks he does. It's in a separate room. But
Ah, okay.
I'd sleep under my pillow, like a gun under your pillow or something like that. But no, he puts it in a magical secret chamber that no one else apart from Mum-ra can
Gun under
open.
your pillow. Someone breaks in. Thundercats, bitch.
Oh, bang. Oh, and then they go with the thunder tank. That's fucked too. And the cat's lair starts flashing from the eyes for some reason. I was like, that must be an
Alarm.
error, an error. Yeah,
Yeah, 404 not found.
yeah. I put they probably need to unplug it and plug it back in again. And in the mutants, they've been watching from a distance, and they're happy that their sinister plan is working. And soon the lair will be ours. Like, what do you want to do with that lair? You've just got Castle Plunder that you've built. Why do you want the
Yeah,
cat's
you
lair?
put
Your
your own what
cat
you want
stuff in there.
to.
It's gonna be
I
cat shit
really
everywhere.
want I really want to play with that ball of yarn.
Yeah.
Did
Um,
you see they've got laser pointers? There.
yeah, well, yeah, they do, don't they? Comes out the eyes. And then Pumra's outside for the sword and the claw. And the claw, you see that in other episodes, that can fire like batarangs out of it, that sort of shit. Because part of me was like, what is the point of that claw? I was like, oh, it's just a battle claw. It hasn't got any mystical powers or anything.
They have actual claws.
Yeah, but no, he has to have an extra special one. And then he starts telling Lionel, get back, boy. We've met before, boy. I'm like,
Why
have
is
you?
Lionel running everywhere during this time? He's legging it about from every place to place. Like, let's go over here now.
Yeah. And then Snarf's all like, I told you so. Shut up, Snarf.
Shut up, Snarf.
And then Pumra says, I want it all. And I put, and I want it now. Yeah, and then, like you just said, he runs up to fight Pumra and he uses the Thundercats chant on the sword, but it doesn't work. But it causes a storm. Or no, what was it? No, that's a criticism.
That's a cataclysm.
That was it. Yeah.
The mystic sword of omens cannot be used for evil deeds.
Yeah, that's what Yaga says. I'm like,
Yeah.
right. So you've just said no one other than Lion-O can use the sword. So what is the point of any of this?
Yeah. Why does he want it? He can't have it. And is this it? Is the last time he tries for the sword? I bet it fucking isn't.
I bet there'll be something later on, like, but if I took the sword and I put a magical spell on it, it could be mine to use for evil. There's probably some shit
Yeah.
like that because that's the same shit as He-Man. Skeletor wants the sword from Grayskull for his own evil shit, but yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, yeah, you said about Yaga appearing, and then Lion-O manages to reclaim the sword, but the mutants arrive ever so slowly in the presumably now fixed Thunder Tank. They start firing
Beep,
laser
beep,
beams at
beep. Hold
Lion-O,
on.
which
Beep. This vehicle is reversing.
the gun ever so slowly coming up. Oh, hang on, we've got to load it. Hang on, wait, one sec, got to load it. And
That's
then,
jammed. It's jammed.
yeah, it jams because they're trying to fire laser beams at Lion-O, and he quite easily just bats it off, and it fucks the thing up. Then, yeah, then Lion-O uses the sword to summon the Thundercats. Well, you don't need to do that. They're already on their way. Why did you need to summon them?
It's right there.
Oh, and then the mutants just run off again like cowards. Like, they're bloody useless. They don't do anything. Don't fight. They just run away like cowards. Um, and then Pumra has locked up their lair. It's like, how? How has he locked up there? Did he swipe the keys as well? How has he locked up the lair?
It's a bit where someone says something like, "Is the weird grammar in this? Is somebody says at some point, he is behind you." It's like, he's behind you. No, no, not he's behind you. He is behind you. Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah.
It's like someone who doesn't speak English as a first language has read this.
Yeah, and again, this is why I thought, was this a Japanese cartoon that was made into like
But it
English?
wouldn't make any
No,
sense
no, it
because
wasn't.
somebody. Oh no, right, okay. Somebody could just easily, even if it was, like go, oh, why would we just literally translate this? That doesn't make any sense. We'll just say he's behind you. This is almost like someone's a grammar Nazi. Like, I think you'll find it's correct. It's he is behind you, not he's behind you. If they're going to talk to children in a children's cartoon, they have to talk properly.
Do you know what? We joke. That probably is what it is. They
Oh
just
yeah.
wanted, yeah, 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 yeah. And Tiger explains there's another way in, the power exhaust. I'm like, the power exhaust. And he starts arguing with Lion who should go. And the Yaga arrives again. It's the third time we've seen Yaga in this episode. No, Lion, Tiger should be the one to go. He's like, you're right, Tiger, you should go.
Just Yaga just turning up and telling him what to do. It's like, no, sometimes bravery isn't what's required. This man is expendable. If he dies, everything is fine. And he's like, yeah, the power exhaust, which I think is probably the cat's poop chute.
Yeah. But when he goes down, it just looks like a water slide. It looks really fun. And then he goes into the lair. Laser beams start coming out the cat's eyes because why not?
Yeah.
Then Chitaro's like, "Don't worry, I'll avoid it." It's just like starts running.
Everybody else dead.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
He's
fine though.
avoided it though. They're like, and then there's the explosion. They're like, oh, let's pray he made it. It's like, well, Lionel says it's like, well, I can just use the sword and find out. Hold on.
Yeah,
Also,
he made it all
we
right.
know it. We know he made it because we saw him avoid the explosion. There's no jeopardy whatsoever. He's like, well,
None.
let's pray he made it. Well, why do we need to pray when we got the sword of omens?
Yeah, if you saw that he got stuck and
Fine.
then there was a fire inside and all that sort of shit, like, oh, okay, we need to
Yeah.
get him out. This is just like, yeah, he's fine.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's grand.
And then Panthro starts climbing up the layer like Spider-Man. How is he doing that? I know he's got claws, but they're not that sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Lionel uses the sword again to blow up the cat's eyes, and that unblocks the door for some reason. I'm like, why does that happen? And then Pumra starts summoning evil spirits to make a big moth arrive to attack Panthro.
I was like, oh no, Mothra.
I felt Mothra as well.
That's the
Also,
worst he could do. He's like, bring me the most evil thing in the world, a fucking moth. What's he
a
gonna
big
do? Eat
moth.
your clothes?
When I was saying that, me and my wife and my son went to a butterfly garden yesterday near where we
Yeah.
live, and there was a giant fucking moth, and I was very scared of it. I was like, Mothra. um, then what happens? And then they get inside the lair, and Tiger uses his invisibility. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he had that power. They've all got their own niche power, haven't they? And it's his
Yeah, I'd
invisibility.
forgotten he had that. So at a point, it just seemed like the cartoon went a bit wonky. He was
Yeah,
sort of see through.
we've run out of budget. He's got invisibility.
Yeah,
And then at this point, yeah, Pumra's been stopped.
saving hours on animation.
Yeah, just blank. Yeah, at this point they've all regrouped and they ask who Pumra is, and he goes on a big old tirade about how he's lived on this planet for 1,000 years and he isn't the intruder, they are. And I was like, somebody voted reform.
Also, he's right. They are. They've come down to this planet and gone, right, we're going to take over and we're going to impart our law on the whole place. You will
Built
do
a
as we
massive
say.
great lair here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he turns into mumm-ra and vanishes. And then it's time for moral time. So Panther explains that everything's now working and they hope they'll never see mumm-ra again, but they know they will.
I've written that down. I hope I never see it again. but you know we will. Like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, there's fucking 61 more episodes this season. You'd better see him again.
And there's three more seasons after this.
Yeah,
And
but
then it
they're all
starts.
like 25 episodes. It's almost like they
Yeah,
went big
true.
on the first season, but shit.
Yeah, yeah. And Pembroke goes, we'll need new safeguards on this layer. That's going to be first thing on the agenda for tomorrow.
But first, let's get shit faced.
Yeah. Lionel can't believe he misjudged mumm-ra like he did, and Tiger explains, first impressions are often wrong, but trust is something that takes time to grow. And Lionel admits new friends are not easily made as he thought and Snarf's like, friends like the Thundercats are forever. They go, Thundercats forever.
Shut up, Snarf.
Oh, ding, 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 wicked. Fuck me. That was the Thundercats. Wow. And we blitz through that because not a lot happens in these cartoons, kids. Not a lot happens. Seems like everything happened in the pilot episode, not much afterwards. All right, so let's go back. What did we love about it back then when we were kids?
Um, I mean, like when you're 5 or 6, right? Cartoons are your bread and butter. So it was, bright, loud, exciting. It had Thundercats. I had the toys, so I could play along with the episode
Hmm.
with the toys. It was, it looks really good. Like the animation in it
Uh-huh.
is fairly, it holds up fairly well, even now. And I guess when you're like 6, you don't have the critical faculties to find the way that it's being the dialogue is being spoken odd. And I think that actually probably helps you when you're a child because it's very clear, it's very concise. You know what everybody's doing, you know where everybody's
Yeah.
going. Because they tell you they're like, I'm going over here now. Like it's yeah, and it imparts a moral which I couldn't give a shit about when I was young. But yeah, I just thought, and the theme tune,
Yeah.
mainly the theme tune.
Mainly the theme tune. See, this is just it, right? When I was a kid, I loved that fucking theme tune. That theme tune is iconic. But as soon as I started the cartoon, I was like, I'm kind of bored. I don't really want to watch this anymore. I think because I probably found it patronizing. Like, what's going on over there? Yes, we should go over there. Let's go there now. Because I think other cartoons like Turtles didn't really do it, and He-Man didn't really do it. They all seem to be very well acted voice actors. Characters and stories were all
Yeah, yeah,
driven.
yeah.
But this just seems so ham-fisted, like and forced. I don't know. I think once I got
See,
past
I
the intro.
wonder if we went back and watched He-Man now, if it wouldn't.
It does.
If it
No, no, it
does.
does. No, when we did our He-Man episode, I went back and watched one of the cartoons. No, they still kick ass.
Ah,
They're still
okay.
really good. They're still really good. And in prep for our Turtles episode, I went back and watched the pilot episode of the cartoon, and that's still really good.
Oh, okay.
But no, and this is why I was reluctant to do the He-Man cartoon because I was like, well, I watched it as part of our movie prep, and it's still pretty good. But no, I get what you say. Like they have specifically designed the Thundercats to not confuse anyone because it is a very
Yeah.
complicated plot when you think about it in terms of the premise of that. So if they keep
It's very
explaining all the time what they're doing, then
it's
kids can
very
follow it.
dark as well. Like I
Yeah.
was reading today, like in the beginning that it's destroyed because Yaga tries to toss the sword of plunder into a volcano and then it just explodes from the volcano and destroys Thundera.
Is that what
And so
happens?
it's Yaga's fault.
Ah, see, I just thought it was like Krypton, the planet was just eventually just dying out. No, it was
No, no, no. It's
a
dark from the
mistake.
beginning. Like it's a mistake that
Right.
destroys the planet. Probably why he agrees to like pilot the ship and dies of old age, which is also
Yeah.
dark. Like the whole thing is pretty like it's a pretty bleak beginning of like all of our planet people are dead.
Yeah. But I think so now if we fast forward as adults, that's what I like about it. I think the premise is very good. When you really compare it against He-Man, it's a bit of a rip-off. Like it's quite similar, even to the point where the villains look the same, that sort of thing. It's made to sell toys, obviously, just like He-Man
Yeah.
was, that sort of thing. But yeah, I love the premise. When I really read up on it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Because I always just thought,
Yeah.
oh, it's a dumb cartoon that doesn't have a real premise. It's just a bunch of Thundercats on a planet. It was like, when you actually read what it's all about and what they're fighting
Mm.
for, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, what lets it down is the terrible, terrible acting. It's just
Yeah,
so
it's awful.
fucking bad. I can't get past it at all, you know?
Yeah. I think
So,
Panthro's the only one that really comes out of it with any ability to read those lines without it sounding weird. And even he has a couple in the second episode that are like, oh boy.
yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, we've only covered 2 episodes, and this is probably the difficulty when we do a TV show or a cartoon. If we watched all 4 seasons, do they get better? Or is it just much and much of the same? Oh, Mum-ra's got another harebrained plan that isn't going to work
Well, I'd
type
imagine
thing,
the
you know?
plots stay roughly the same. So I think my understanding of it is the earlier season had like an arc, like not
Yeah.
throughout the whole season, but for like the first 20 episodes or so. And then after that, it just becomes like episode of the week stuff. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
they occasionally they'll have a couple more. There was a 5-part thing that was released over here called Thundercats Ho, which
Mhm.
collected 5 episodes and sort of ran it as a film. So
Yeah,
that has like a 5 episode arc to it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be worth watching something from like the fourth season and just seeing if it's any
yeah,
better. I'd imagine
yeah,
the animation style remains relatively the same.
yeah. Animation, I didn't have a problem with. Thought that was pretty
No, the
cool.
animation's pretty good. I mean, it was so. And I'm kind of skipping over into trivia.
Well, we can do. Well, that's a nice segue. Why don't we go into Smith Trivia?
Yeah, okay,
So,
so it ran from 1985 to 1989, 4 seasons. It was animated in Japan and voiced in the US, obviously. Season one had 65 episodes, as I previously mentioned, at $15 million production cost, which in 1985 is quite a hefty
wow,
check. So you can
yeah.
see that money on the screen, I think, from the kind of weirdly, the full run didn't, as you said before, didn't run in the UK. We never got the whole series, but it still came number 54 in the top 100 cartoons of all time as voted for on Channel 4. Um, so the only real trivia I can find on this is around Stahl's film adaptations. So apparently in 2007, there was intended to be a film adaptation that never really went anywhere. Some production art from that leaked online. You can find it, and it looks fucking weird. I don't think it would be particularly good. There's also a fan trailer that came out roughly around about that time
I
with
remember
like,
it's brilliant.
I mean, the fake trailer with Vin Diesel was Panthro,
Yeah.
which is just fucking great casting. Like, if you were gonna cast it
Uh-huh.
then, that's who you'd cast.
Is
Now,
that the one with
probably
Brad
not.
Pitt as Lino, and they just take
Yeah,
like Troy footage and stuff? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. And
wicked.
it looks like okay, cool, right? If you're gonna do it, that's how you do it. As of 2021, they started developing a new live action film with the director Adam Wingard attached. Adam Wingard was known mainly for like, horror indie stuff until he did all the new Godzilla stuff, so Godzilla X Kong, Godzilla times Kong equals shit. Um, and as of 2024, that was still on the cards. They were still working on it. So I don't think it'll ever happen because it's one of those things now. Who's it for?
But you know what? They could get this so right if they don't have all the campy silliness. If they just do it like shit, our planet's dying. We need to go to a new planet, and now we're going to defend this planet. That is a great movie.
But yeah, but you got you got to get over the fact they're human cats. Right, that's gonna
That's the
be.
problem. Yeah.
It's gonna look. I just and again, I don't know. Like it's not for so. This is part of the problem, right? They did a reboot TV series in 2011,
Mhm.
which only lasted 1 season and got cancelled. They tried again in 2020 with something called Thundercats Raw, which only lasted 1 season, they got cancelled. So like there is no audience for it anymore. I think kids don't want it. And so if kids don't want it, and one of the reasons they cancelled those previous ones is because they lacked sales of merchandise. So
Yeah.
they weren't selling any toys off the back of it. And one of the biggest drivers of the early stuff was toys. In like 80s cartoons were driven by toy sales. He-Man was a cartoon designed to sell toys.
Yep.
Turtles slightly different. This, I'd imagine, similar thing. It's there
Mhm.
to sell toys to kids, right? If you're not doing that, what you doing? Who's going to go and see a film of Thundercats now? Men like us in our 40s,
Yeah. Nostalgia.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there aren't enough of us to warrant making that film. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think if it comes out, it'll be shit because it will be compromised within an inch of its life, and then it will flop massively. I would guess. Um, Other little bits of trivia, just two more little bits here because I really couldn't find all that much. The theme tune was credited to Bernard Hoffer and Jules Bass. Now, there is a lot of rumors about who was involved with the theme tune, none of which is substantiated. So, one rumor has James Lipton as being involved in it. Now, James Lipton presented a TV series in America called Inside the Actors Studio. He's a guy with like a little beard and like, but he's dead now. But he was also in Arrested Development. No, no, nothing to prove that he was in any way involved in this. Similarly, as an 8-year-old, apparently Mark Ronson was involved with the bass line. And then again, there's nothing to substantiate that that's true. So I'd say highly unlikely. The only other bit of trivia I have is that Snarf's real name is Osbert.
The character is.
Yes, the character's real name is Osbert. It's not Snarf. He is a
Well,
Snarf.
well, I always found it odd that his name was Snarf and he kept saying Snarf all the time. That's like me keep saying Stew in every sentence. It
Well,
does.
I say
does.
Smith. I say Smith quite a lot.
How you doing, Smith? Smith, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's generally happens quite a bit. Or I'll be running around thinking, Thundersmith is on the loose.
Yeah.
Thundersmith is loose. Dinner. And
Oh,
that's all of the trivia that I could find on this.
funny. My wife hadn't heard of this cartoon or hadn't
Oh,
watched it when she
really?
grew up. So when I said to her, okay, well, maybe let's do a bit of research. Maybe it wasn't called Thundercats in French. It's called Cosmo Cats in French. It's like Cosmo, 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 Cosmo Cats. Like, why couldn't you just call it Thundercats? It's bizarre. But yeah.
I believe my partner Hannah had heard of it. I don't think she'd ever seen it because she was like, "This is terrible."
But when
I
she heard
don't
the
think.
theme tune, did she go, ah, yeah,
Yeah,
or
she was
anything
like,
like
"Yeah, the
that?
theme tune is quite." No, I think she enjoyed the theme tune. And you can't
Yeah,
not. It's great theme tune.
it's awesome.
Cracking. It's
Really, really
downhill from
good.
the second it starts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that leads quite nicely. Does it hold up?
Oh no.
No,
Well, no, it doesn't.
on balance, it does. It's got a great premise, a great intro. Characters are quite good, but it's just the fucking acting is just appalling.
Yeah, and the
I can't
dialogue, it's terrible. Like it's not as chaotic as sort of later cartoons. So if you look at something like Pokemon, which has all the swishing visuals and the
Yeah,
horror,
yeah.
like even though this does have, I think in the second episode where mumm-ra is hypnotizing Chitara for some reason,
Mm.
the flashes of light are like, wow, you're just trying to work out if there's anyone with epilepsy in the audience. Just kind
Yeah,
of, um, so it doesn't have all of that stuff that the later cartoons had. So it's easier to watch for
mm,
someone of our generation, I think, with our eyes in our head.
yeah,
Um, but no, the acting and the dialogue is just so bad.
yeah.
You couldn't in all good. I mean, the way I approach a lot of this is if I had a kid, would I be happy with them watching it? And I probably would be happy with them watching it, but I don't think they'd want to.
I think they get bored real quick. But I think my son
Yeah,
would enjoy watching this. He'd probably enjoy watching He-Man or Turtles, but this he'd probably be like, I don't really like the acting. It's rubbish. The way they're
yeah.
talking, stupid. You know.
But
So
I don't know. Maybe at 5 or 6, I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe it wouldn't bother him as much because it's clearer and you'd understand it a bit more. But I mean, that's to find out, I
But yeah,
suppose.
again, I've mentioned it a few times. It's just telling for me that even as a kid, I didn't particularly enjoy it. Other than the toys and the intro, and maybe a few episodes here and there. I distinctly remember there was an episode where wily-kit and wily-kat pissing around in those capsules they arrive in, and they get stuck in the capsules, and the whole episode is trying to get them out of the capsules. And the moral of the story is, kids don't fuck around with shit you don't understand. You know, like kids used to go play on train tracks and stuff like that. I'm like,
Stay out of the fridge.
yeah. And that episode is burned into my head. I'm
Yeah,
like,
well, the
why?
first this Slaves of Castle Plunder was burned into my head like completely from the
It's
second it started. I
crazy.
was like, God, I've seen this. And
Yeah.
some stuff you look at and you go, I kind of remember it, and some you like a second, you're like, oh, there it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
That's pulled like a visual memory out of my past. But
So,
no. I would say this doesn't hold up.
no, no. And that does make me worried for future cartoons that we cover. Well, I mean, this is the point of this podcast anyway, to laugh at shit that doesn't hold up. But does all of our cartoons from our childhood not hold up? Was it? But like I said, I
Well,
liked
let's see
He-Man and Turtles when I watched.
when we eventually get to Denver the Last Dinosaur, we'll find out.
We will cover Denver last time. So that was actually my first choice, but I decided to go with
Another
the more
banging
popular
theme tune.
Thundercats. Yeah, it is awesome. But yeah, we'll see if the actual episode is good or if it's all downhill after the intro. All right. Well, next episode's nomination. It's your turn, Smith. What are we doing?
Well, in an episode where I've got to share my love of doing stupid voices, I'm going to try another one. And what would it mean to you if I said, "Hey, oh, you got the man, you stealing money"?
Oh, I'd hope we were doing Rocky, but that definitely holds up. So,
No, yeah, no, we're going back to Stallone, and we are going up the mountain to watch
oh,
Rennie Harlin's Cliffhanger.
my God, I've genuinely
Bring
not
me
watched that
my
since I was a kid.
money.
Oh, John Lithgow's in it.
John
Yes.
Lithgow, the towering talent that is John Lithgow.
And Craig Fairbrass.
Oh,
Amazing.
the towering talent that is Craig Fairbrass.
Oh, do you know, I've genuinely not watched Cliffhanger since my dad rented it out of the video shop years ago. So
Oh,
that's a
great.
nice
I haven't seen it
trip
in
down
years,
memory
but I
lane.
bought it on Blu-ray recently and I've been itching for an excuse to watch it. So,
And I recorded it off of 5 Action or whatever it was on telly the other day. So that's perfect. We'll
and by
cover
that, I
that.
mean, I'm itching for an opportunity to force Hannah to watch it.
Yeah, it's a dumb action movie. Why not? Awesome. All right. So next episode, we will be covering Cliffhanger. So just a bit of housekeeping before we get out of here. Just want to plug our socials. You can reach us on email at it doesn't hold up podcast at gmail.com. We're on Instagram at it doesn't hold up podcast. We're on Twitter, or X as it's now known, at doesn't hold up podcast. We're on YouTube at it doesn't hold up podcast. And we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other good places you listen to podcasts. And remember, give us a good review, and we welcome all suggestions for things for us to cover. So, Smith, is there anything else you would like to say on Thundercats before we get out of here and regroup for Cliffhanger?
Yes. Podcasts only mean something if people listen to them. Otherwise, they are just words.
Indeed. And I would say, oh, you want to get wasted or something?